Welcome to Womanhood episode 2, MS and Medical Gaslighting. Medical gaslighting is when a healthcare professional dismisses, trivializes, or brushes aside a patient's concerns. A recent study has found that medical gaslighting disproportionately affects more women.
Have you ever felt like you've been medically gaslighted because of your MS? Your HCP has dismissed, trivialized, or brushed aside your healthcare concerns or attributed to them something else like anxiety or depression.
George, just repeat that story.
Honestly, I was told that I had had a nervous breakdown. I was told that my mental health was so severe they couldn't even deal with me. And I was begging for help. Like, I was literally going to my GP every week and being like, I feel like I'm going crazy. I don't know. And I think a lot of that was to do with a lot of the symptoms I was experiencing was a lot of cognitive. I have a lot of stuff going on you can't see. It wasn't like, my leg wasn't working or like I was experiencing physical stuff. It was like my flight or fight kept getting activated and they just kept saying it was my mental health over and over and over again. And to the point where I believed it. Like I would tell people, I'd be like, had a nervous breakdown. Like, I fucking didn't. Like, I was just really, really poorly. But my days, it was just awful. But even still now, I thought it was going to stop. Once I got my diagnosis, I was like, thank God, like, they're going to listen to me. I've got this scan. You can see all the damage on it. Like, but even to this day, like, recently I went in and again, I was saying this to Evie yesterday, saying about my mobility's got so much worse in the last couple of years, even more so in the last 6 to 8 months. And I was saying this to my neuro and he was just kind of like, yeah, but I think it's just, you just need a bit of physio and like, it's because your left leg's numb. And I was like, what part of my leg isn't working? Are you not not hearing here? It's not that there's a mechanical issue. It's that I can't support my weight on this leg. So yeah, I mean, even now, 4.5 years after my diagnosis, I'm still feel like I'm being gaslighted. And it also happened in this getting to grips with MS day thing that I went to. And it was like, for newly diagnosed people, I was the youngest person in the room. I was in the middle of a relapse. And they were like calling out symptoms, like, bladder and vision and on this board and this whole list. And I remember saying to my mum, I was like, pretty much got all of them. Like, and I said that. And the MS nurse in front of the whole room of people went, I highly doubt that. And I was literally like, why would I lie about that? But then it makes you feel like, and then I think to myself, like, am I making this up? Yeah. But after the neurologist said that to me about my leg, I thought, well, he said I'm fine. So I, went to the gym, tried to squat 70 kg and broke my finger and dropped it on my neck because my legs gave out. And I was like, right, this isn't in my head. Like, and after that, I was like, very much like, I know myself. I don't need a healthcare professional to tell me what's going on with my body because I've been living in it for 34 years and I know.
Get to that point where you're like, right, I don't need validation from them.
Yeah. It's a good place to be.
Yes.
Definitely.
I think we all have been gaslit. Like all of us. It has happened to me a lot. I've been told my hands are strong, they can do things. I spend a lot of the time like this because my hand isn't. But it's okay, just do some hand exercises and it'll be fine. No, that won't happen. I've been told, oh, maybe you just had whiplash because there was something wrong with my neck. I didn't have whiplash because I wasn't in a car. So that's like not possible. There's so many things.
Yeah, if there's one thing I could say to people working in the medical field, in the MS field, is believe your patient. Like, we are the ones living with this 24/7 every single day. Yeah. Listen to what we're saying.
If someone's telling you they're having a relapse, they're having a relapse.
We know our bodies.
They know the experience that you have when you go for a relapse is nothing that anyone would ever lie about because it's so severe. Like, there's all different variations of them.
And trying to downplay it isn't comforting.
No.
It's dismissive.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you haven't got the proof that you've had a relapse because there's not new lesions, but you've taken months to get me an MRI. And when I was relapsing,
I had a neuro say this. I was like, I'm having a relapse. Like, it was a small one, and it was that I couldn't like move, like flex, like the top of my foot, and it was in so much pain. And I was like, I knew it was because of all the other things that come with it as well. Because it's not just a symptom, and that's the thing that I don't think people grasp.
See, I get told, oh no, if it was a relapse, you'd only have that and nothing else. And I'm like, my body's dealing with so much.
Not true. And he was literally like, wrote in the follow-up, like, he was like, I don't actually believe she's having a relapse, but I offered her steroids.
Wow.
I offered her steroids, and I said, he said that I said that they don't work for me. That's not what I said. What I said is, I will only take steroids if it's affecting my mobility or my vision. Like, if it's for something small, which isn't small, but small for us or me or whatever, I don't want to have to take a high dose of steroids because of the side effects. So again, that he'd completely like missed the mark on that. And also, if you don't believe I'm relapsing, why are you offering me steroids? Which is a really like like borderline, like not dangerous, but like quite damaging drug. It's not a good thing to be taking 2,000, 3,000 milligrams of high dose like steroids. Like that doesn't make sense to me either. So do you believe me or don't you? Like I'm not really sure, but yeah, crazy.
Okay, so as a woman with MS, considering all the things we've just spoken about, what would you like to see different or see differently?
How long have you got?
More research into women's bodies for a start, and how they work, how they function differently, and how that impacts MS throughout our entire span.
I would like all my different healthcare practitioners
to speak to each other,
have conversations with each other, because I literally spoke to my GP like 2 days ago about something that it was an issue a month ago, and he was like, ringing about the potential UTI you have. I was like, yeah, I don't have a UTI. I was like, I found that out a month ago, so kind of wasted your time. And he went, so I'm assuming you're under a specialist healthcare team for your MS. And I was literally like,
why don't you know?
What? Like,
dealing with it on my own this whole time.
Yeah, surely it's on my notes for a start. And actually, isn't everyone with MS potentially under it? Like, I just was just like, how? Like, how do you not know this? Like, I don't. And then it just gives me no confidence in speaking to him, because I'm like, right, well, he's not going to have this that's going to stay with him. Whatever I say to him is not going to get passed out to
every
other
single
people.
Time you speak to someone new, you have to go
repeat
through
yourself.
a whole monologue of your whole life.
Yeah, 100%. And it shouldn't be like that. And I think me and another of my friends talk about this quite a lot, that actually, they should have conversations with each other. But also it is like what you said, Evie, like, it's not just clinical stuff. Like, we're emotional, we're human beings, and we all have our own personalities. Every single person sitting here has an individual version of MS. Yeah, it's treated like this blanketed thing. It's like, no, my illness is different to your illness, and your illness and yours. And actually, it should be treated like as an individual illness in the individual, rather than just MS. Like, it doesn't. It blows my mind.
And your own individual concerns that are related to your own individual MS often aren't listened to, and it's just kind of, well, most people are concerned about this, so therefore I'm just going to talk about this. So like my example, when I was trying to decide whether or not I was going to have a child or not, and I was talking to my neurologist about it, and my biggest concern was my fatigue and being able to look after a child after the child's here, and they just kept pushing the fact that pregnancy is protective. And I was like,
it's not always.
I'm not.
It's
not always. B, I don't care. Like, that's not my concern. I'm not worried about having a relapse. I haven't had a relapse for years. Like, I'm getting beyond that point now. That's not my concern at all. I'm concerned about this other aspect that I'm trying to talk to you about and see if there's any support and what can you do to help me with this. And it was just like going over their heads, and they just kept reiterating like, oh, but pregnancy protects. And I'm like, 9 months out of my life is not a good enough reason to bring another child,
not at
like
all.
a life into the world.
We're women though, and like obviously we want to have babies. Like, that's our sole purpose in life, is to be child carriers. Like, I do feel like that's a thing as well. But I suppose that's a topic for another day. But yeah,
I think that there should be a wellness and holistic aftercare given to not just women, but every person that is given a life-changing diagnosis. And I think that should be, my MS centre is pretty poor, but there should be things like, right, so we're going to see you, we're going to assess you, we're going to offer you counselling. There are all these specific, classes and workshops that you can try out and you can go to, and we'll listen to what you've got to say, things like that. Like, I've taught a lot of chair yoga, and I've taught other women or people with MS, and the difference that they feel after they've done it, and they keep doing it, and they're saying, oh, give me things because I want to try it at home because I've noticed it helps with this, but they have to pay to come to me. That should be available for them. Like, a lot of people wouldn't even know about that. So it should be something that is accessible, where at the moment it isn't, and if it is, it's extremely costly, and that puts me off doing certain things. I can't pay £16 to go to a yoga class, and I would never charge that. But the point is that it's not accessible to everyone, and people are missing out on things that can really help them because it's just not there.
I feel like a lot of the time I'm like begging, can you please do this? Or I feel like this needs to be looked at, or this needs to be done, and they're not paying attention enough because they don't love it. And that's what I would change. I would like people to be in the job that want to do it and want to help people.
I'd say I do believe they want to be there. I just believe that the structure of the country we're in does not reward them or help them.
It doesn't allow people to love their
excel
jobs at the
their
moment.
jobs.
And also the hands are tied in a lot of ways. Like,
I would like my nurses to have the same investment that I have in doing my own research on stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I use this as an example all the time. Like one of the worst relapses I had, like my face dropped and I had Bell's palsy. I think I was saying this again to Evie yesterday, and like, you know, I couldn't talk. I had stroke symptoms basically, and I remember like seeing my MS nurse like a few weeks after and saying about it, and she was like, I don't think that's an MS thing. And she was the head MS nurse. And I was literally like,
okay, well,
how?
if it's not, if you don't think it's an MS thing, then what the hell are you going to do? Like, because this happened.
And like, all it took was a quick Google. And I know now that having, you know, Bell's palsy in MS is due to having a lesion on your brainstem. And I've got loads of lesions on my brainstem, so that's why. But the fact that the head, not even just an MS nurse, head MS nurse said, I don't think that's MS. You should know that. You should know that. Like, as a standard.
I think they feel like they're trying to be comforting in ways that are actually just very dismissive.
That's it. It's all that, don't wrap me up in cotton wool. I don't like that approach. I like things told to me straight. And I know that isn't the same for everyone, and people have to remind me that sometimes, and they're like, Katt, not everyone deals with it in the same way as you are, but lay it out in black and white for me and be honest with me, because I need that.
Yeah, I think they try to be too protective of your mental well-being, but it's actually detrimental in the long run.
Definitely.
MS and medical gaslighting recap. You know you best. MS is complex, and symptom dismissal can happen. Make notes and use your tools at your disposal to record your symptoms so you can discuss them with your healthcare professionals. There is a lack of coordinated care for women with MS. More female-specific research on women with MS is needed. Patients should be treated based on their individual needs and long-term health goals.